And Tatnall fighting for first down yardage. He needs to get down to about the 21-yard line. We'll wait for the spot. It's right there about the 21-yard line. They may have to bring in the chains. Still waiting for an official signal. No, they're going to call it. They're going to call it third down, as it looks to be just short of the 21 without a measurement. So third and less than a yard for the Hawks at the Chieftain 21-yard line. Beveridge with the wishbone behind him. Gives it to Zach Hurd, and Hurd bowls his way across the 20 behind. Solid blocking on the left side. It picks up more than enough for the first down. They'll mark him close to the 17-yard line. Hudson's deepest penetration to this point. Devane goes out wide to the far side. On 1st and 10 for the Hawks. Hurd goes in motion, then comes back to the near side. Beveridge fakes. No, he does give it to the Hurd, who went in motion towards the center, then came back in motion towards the near side, then reversed his field once again and accepted the reverse handoff from Beveridge, but the Chieftains were buying none of it, and they drop Hurd for a loss back out to the 23-yard line. Second, about 16. Beveridge gives it to Quinn, and Quinn spun around as he goes down at the 22-yard line. Pickup of maybe a couple. Brings up a 3rd and 14 as Quinn comes out and is replaced by Wardwell. Ingersoll in motion to the far side, and they give up the middle to Wardwell. Doesn't fool the Chieftains at all, as they had double wide receivers and trying to run it up the gut, and they got maybe a yard. And it's going to be 4th and about 14. They have to get it down to the 8-yard line, and they're sitting at the 22. So we'll see what offensive coordinator Mike Nenardowicz can come up with in this situation. He sends Gregory wide to the far side. Ingersoll goes in motion that way. Beveridge back to pass. Under a heavy rush. Sidesteps one man and is hit as he intended a pass, I believe, for Ingersoll down around the 10-yard line, and his arm was hit as he got about halfway through with the arm motion on that pass, and the ball came loose and was almost intercepted. But the man who might have made the interception for the Chieftains would have been making it while he was down on the ground, and the ball would have been dead right there. So the Hawks turn it over as they had it done at the 17-yard line, and the loss on first down set the tone for the next series of plays. This is Kerrigan. Finally shirt tackled by Zach Hurd. And Kerrigan picks up better than 10 yards on the carry for first down. 3:30 remaining in this opening half. The Chieftains leading at 18-0 by virtue of 3 touchdown runs in the opening quarter. And the Hawks are able to stuff all the conversion attempts. One a extra point that bounced off the crossbar, a run and a pass that both failed. Keblin got hit in the backfield, shakes it off. He was hit by big Derek Catrambone. Shook it off and managed to get about 2 yards on the play. You could hear that hit all the way up here in the booth. Keblin listed as 5'11", 175 pounds. Catrabone, 6'2", 300 pounds. And Keblin refused to go down after that hit. Newton in trouble. Scrambles out of it and squirts out across the 40-yard line before Blackburn wrestles him down. They'll mark it at the 41-yard line. It'll bring up a third and about 3. Big game for Nashoba next week. They'll be on the road again up in Gardner. Both teams coming in undefeated on the year, 5-0 going into tonight's action. Newton gives it to Kerrigan, steps inside, steps outside, and whoa! Derek Catherabone levels him at the 40-yard line. I don't think Kerrigan saw that coming, as Catherabone came from the weak side, and Kerrigan was just starting to turn that way, and then all of a sudden, there he was. So it'll bring up 4th down and 4 for the Chieftains. They've yet to be denied tonight when they've had the ball, other than the last possession when they fumbled. And this time they're going to have to punt it away. Gregory back, I believe, in single safety as Keblin gets off an end-over-end punt. And Gregory fumbles it, now picks it up around his own 22, and nothing but Nashoba Chieftains down there. Then he can't get away from that swarm of tacklers, and he'll be dropped at around the 20-yard line of Hudson. 1:12 to go in this opening half. And after the Hawks came out a little cold and let the Chieftains, I can say they let them, the Chieftains just did run over them unabated in the first quarter. The second quarter has tightened up a little bit. Devane split out wide to the far side. Beveridge straight back to pass, has good protection, looking for and finding Ingersoll at the 25. Ingersoll up the sidelines and out of bounds at the 35-yard line, I believe. Ingersoll, a man in motion that way, caught the ball in the flat. Did a good job to put the brakes on before he went out of bounds, and then skipped up the sidelines to the 35-yard line, and a 15-yard gain, first down, Hawks. This time Gregory splits out wide to the far side. And Ingersoll goes in motion that way. This gives a big hole. Wardwell, one man to beat. It's Mitchell. Wardwell with Mitchell in hot pursuit. Wardwell all the way, touchdown. 65 yards for Greg Wardwell on a beautiful bit of trap blocking by the Hawk line. There wasn't a man in his way as he went through the line untouched. And Mitchell, the only man who had a chance to catch him, and Wardwell and he ran stride for stride all the way down the left side, and Wardwell beat him into the end zone for the 6 points for the Hawks. And Hudson will call timeout to decide what they're going to do with the conversion. Nashoba leading at 18-6 with 51 seconds to go in this first half. I don't know what the hell he's doing down there. Oh, he's shaking it up, that's for sure. Coming out of an iPhone.
You will have a performance driving until the band is out.
The whole thing was shifting away. Marlboro was here and the whole backfield was over there. That's been some of those plays Marlboro used to run at Thanksgiving where they had the center, two guys and the quarterback, and the rest of the people would be 40 yards to the right.
The first regulated tire contest this evening. Each class, the 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, will all have a car represented, or a vehicle, I should say.
Let's stay on for a little bit after the half.
Most wins and judges this evening are Mr. and Mrs. Rimkus, who will judge the best decorated vehicle.
So Dan Sullivan kicks it off for the Hawks, and he splits the defenders down there. Going down to one knee, no, they said he didn't. And now he did fall down. It was Kerrigan Kerrigan and Keblin down there deep, and it looked like Kerrigan came pretty close to having a knee down when he fielded that ball. Both officials right on it called no, he's okay, and then he came up field about 5 yards and ran into Keblin and went down. So a little bit of an Alphonse and Gaston act by the Chieftains, maybe a little rattled here by the Hawks on the 65-yard touchdown run by Wardwell. So the Chieftains will start deep in their own territory at their 17-yard line. As you can see, the homecoming parade with the kings and queens of the respective classes driving around the track behind here. This is one man to beat, and he's not going to do it. Josh Gregory stops forehand, who had a huge hole up the middle, much like Wardwell just had moments earlier, with one man to beat, and Gregory managed to drag him down at the Hudson 23-yard line with 34 seconds remaining in the half. Nashoba has 4 timeouts remaining as they send Mitchell out wide to the far side. Keblin is a wing back to the right. Kerrigan a wing back to the left. Newton rolling out, looking downfield, throwing it into the corner of the end zone, and a fight for the ball, and there's going to be a flag thrown. I think we might have offensive pass interference on Mitchell. It looked like Mitchell threw Tatnall away and tried to attempt to catch that ball. We'll see what the official comes up with. Pass interference. Oh! Well, they aren't perfect, Fran. It looked like a blatant offensive pass interference call, as Mitchell was covered by Tatnall. He just took him and threw him off to the side, and the officials see it the other way, and they call it pass interference on Hudson. We have a timeout on the field. We'll be right back. We are back. Nashoba called timeout. They have the ball as a result of the pass interference in the end zone down at the Hudson 8-yard line. These guys must be auditioning for the NFL. I've seen some pretty amazing calls in the last few weeks in pro football. That has to rank right up there with them. Newton running the option. Newton cuts it back to the inside, gets inside the 5-yard line before Joe Eady nails him with help from Wardwell. And with 6 seconds left, Nashoba calls timeout once again. They have 2 remaining, though I don't think they'll get a chance to use them. They lead at 18-0, 18-8 rather, trying to add a score here before the half expires. We'll be right back. 6 seconds left. The ball inside the Hudson 2-yard line. Nashoba, 2nd and goal. Newton rolling, looking into the end zone, and incomplete. I believe Keblin was the intended receiver. The ball was thrown just a little bit short. Keblin got a hand on it but couldn't hang on around the 2-yard line, and time runs out on Nashoba on the fine goal line stand by the Hawks. And that brought on by a rather dubious call by the official in the end zone, we'd have to say. I'd love to see that on replay. Can you run that back for us, Fran? At the end of one half of play, it's Nashoba 18 and Hudson 8, and we'll be back with homecoming festivities in just a moment.
Pass is intercepted by number 42, Nashoba.